3. There you go.
All right. Yeah, I know that's where we go. Jesus Christ, that fucking lighting monkey ass.
Yep.
It's gonna be one of those type of shows. Greetings, programs. Get your ass in here. Welcome to another week of YouTube podcasting on the low end of the dial. If YouTube had a dial. Called the Geeks From Apartment 2 podcast. We are recording from Apartment 2 Studios somewhere deep in the heart of Rock City, New York. I am your geek with a voice, Alan One. Glad you can be with us as the summer continues to wind down, unfortunately. And, of course, this wouldn't be the Geeks From Apartment 2 podcast if my co-host was not sitting across from me. Brother C, what's going on, man?
Nothing much at all. Chilling. Getting ready to get back into that, seasonal flow of work. And, yeah, not really looking forward to it. But, hey, such is life.
Oh, you didn't do your usual intro this week.
It's me. It's Brother C. Lifting these weights, shoulder day to get those Boulder shoulders going. So I can carry all the ladies on my shoulders. These shoulders are like tables. Have a seat.
You've had like 7 years to try to get Boulder shoulders, nigga.
Look, you know what?
I don't know that's going to happen for you.
David.
I don't know if you're ever going to be Big E.
You want to touch it? It's hard. It's hard. Not my penis.
Phrasing.
The shoulder.
Pause.
Pause the phrasing.
Pause the phrasing.
Pause the phrasing. No mo.
Dude.
Ding, ding, ding.
Let's get some business out the way. We are on YouTube, of course, so like, share, and subscribe. Pop that bell to be notified of all new episodes. You can email me directly at luckymerciless1@gmail.com. And we are on Twitter at Geeks From Apartment 2. Tonight we got that shit out the way.
Yes.
What's been going on with you? See, I haven't talked to you since Thursday. You got my Time Crisis hoodie.
Oh, yes. Your time heist.
Yeah, my time heist.
Your Chinese time heist.
Yeah. Rule of thumb, ladies and gentlemen. If you buy clothes from China, always buy a size bigger than the one you usually wear.
Like a size and a half bigger.
No, it's a size bigger.
Just a size?
Yeah, just if you're an XL like I am, if you get something from China, buy a double XL. Because their double XL is an American XL here.
Yes.
Not that it doesn't fit, but it's a little snug around the arms and a little bit around the shoulder.
Cuts off that circulation.
No, it doesn't.
Every time you every time you wear it, it looks like a fucking Smurf.
I'm going to pass out. This jacket too tight.
But it's so dope, though.
I look so hot in this. I'm so drippy in this. No. I do like that quite a bit, though. But it's definitely like it's definitely made out of material that you can only wear like early fall, or springtime.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
can't. So you got like another 2 months of this.
Yeah. Oh no, I can wear it from like September to like early November.
Yeah, you should just wear it like in December, but put a trench coat over it, so you look like Punisher was a member of the Time Heist.
Right.
Frank Castle punishes time.
Yeah, I don't see that. For people out there who don't know, when my father passed away, I took his long leather trench. I call it the shaft coat or the Frank Castle coat because this trench is so long. It goes to my ankles. It's like the Matrix jacket. And I've only worn it twice since I've gotten this, years ago. Once was at your house, because I wanted you to see it. He was like, man, that's a badass jacket. Which it is. The other time was Halloween.
Yes.
When I dressed up as Cobra Commander. Other than that, I have not worn this jacket.
Never.
I feel very self-conscious in it. Not because I don't think it's a dope-ass jacket.
Because it's too cool for you.
Okay. It's too cool for my monkey ass, right?
Yes.
You're too fucking geeky for this jacket. You can't pull it off.
You put it on, and you look like a Rubik's Cube covered in rhinestones. Things that shouldn't be, but are.
Like you in a fucking tight-ass shirt?
Yes.
Yeah, you should not
things that shouldn't be.
Yeah, things that shouldn't be. You in anything tight.
But you know what? This shirt wasn't tight before. This is my double XL tiger shirt. It's because these shoulders, these gunboats, is ready for freedom.
Right.
Let freedom ring. Cha-ching.
All right. I'm gonna let you slide with that. I'm gonna let you rock with that. Yeah. That's what you think in your mind. In your mind, you're like, the Black Adonis.
No, it's Choco Adonis. Get the name right.
Okay, what my point is that in your mind, right now you look like Brock Lesnar in his prime.
I'm the king. No, because see, the thing is this. This is why I have people like you and my mom keep me grounded by constantly calling me fat and leaving horrible messages on my phone. Because without that, I don't have motivation. See, some people are motivated by the carrot. They are motivated by good intention and well-wishing. And yay, you can do it, Billy. You're going for it. Me, I am motivated by shame, self-loathing, and vile hatred. Like, if I wake up in the morning...
Wait, vile hatred?
Yes.
You really think I...
No. But the thing is this. Like, okay, you know how we joke?
Right.
You constantly call me Grimace.
Yes.
This, that, and the third. I know I don't look like Grimace anymore. But if you stopped calling me Grimace, I'd get complacent. If everybody said everything was all good, I don't have enough Hitler drive in me to beat myself up enough, and I beat myself up plenty, but I need that external energy to really motivate me to not pick up that ice cream, to not sip on that soda pop, to keep running miles and miles in this desert heat. Like I said, my mom calls me every week and leaves a horrible message on my phone. Like, yo, I know you cooking out today, but how about we not work on the 8-pack on your neck and you hit that gym and you work on the 6-pack.
That's some funny shit.
And I was like, thanks, Mom. And I played this message for my coworker because she didn't believe me. And so she was like, that sounds horrible. Why would you do that? Because that's my mom, first of all. And second, because I asked her to. And she'll call me. She'll call me and say, did you work out today? And I'll be like, yeah. She's like, you're a fucking liar. You don't even sound tired. I'm like, no, because I'm getting better at it. She's like, yeah, I just wanted to say that. You actually do sound clearer when you talk. You don't sound like you just gargled a bag of M&M's. So that's good, at least.
Yeah. I'll give you, I would say 3 things about that. 1, love your mom.
Yeah.
I love your mom. Because she's like my mom. She's like my mom. Because there's no filter with her.
None.
And my mom had 0 filter. They think whatever came out of her mouth came out of her fucking mouth. If you didn't like it, fuck off. And what's the other thing? 2, you'll always be a mess to me.
Yeah, always.
They'll never be. Nothing will ever be that cool as you. You'll always be a goddamn mess.
Until I become Quetzal, the indie darling.
Until you come here looking like fucking Big E from the New Day, I'll be like, this dude is jacked. What? I don't know what the fuck he's been doing, but this nigga is jacked. But I will say this. I give you credit for sticking with it.
Yeah, got to.
All this fucking time, because for people out there that don't know, you and I were gym partners at that point.
Yes, we were.
Yeah.
And mind you, in the least optimal environment ever, a 2nd-story apartment with wooden floors. Mm-hmm. And we could not drop weights. We had to gently place them on the floor.
Yeah, because if you just dropped them,
they were going to fall.
To the floor.
Now, mind you, at that time, we were just casually benching like 165. Mm-hmm. And I would spot you, and you would, grind out these reps, because story time, folks. We used to do rep competition for shots, and then after we did our workout, we played video games, and we played video games for reps. So there was a vicious cycle of lifting, drinking, and playing video games.
Which by the way, I do not condone and not suggest you do that.
No.
Because there's been plenty of times where we could have really fucked each other up.
We could have hurt ourselves.
Yeah. We could have really hurt ourselves with that.
But at the same time, it never happened. And we stopped doing foolishness.
Yeah,
so we saved all the drinking for after lifting.
Yeah. But in the beginning.
Yeah, because...
you lost it. Whoever got to 10 first, the loser had to do 10 reps.
Yeah.
Had to do it.
And for a while, I mean, people were like, yo, Alan 1, you was getting jacked. You was like, yo, these shoulders can't contain this coat. This uniform is bursting at the seams.
Yeah, you know, where I used to wear a lot of large back then.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I'm not as jacked, but I still feel like, you know, I got good arms.
You got good arms.
You know, that's because I just do manual fucking labor.
You got a good hairline.
I do not have a good hairline at all. That's why you lying, nigga. Neither one of us have good hairlines at this point, dude.
You got the
that is over.
You got the Sherman Hemsley. I got the Carl Winslow.
I got the fucking LeBron going, man. It is not good. If I don't shave my head and I let it grow out for a week or two, it is horrendous.
Yeah,
it is horrendous. I always wear a hat. Like you rarely see me without a hat on. Not right now, because you know, fucking cares. It's an audio podcast.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna see my hairline. But if I'm out and about, oh no, no, there's got to be a hat on, unless my head is shaved. And even that, you know, even that doesn't really help.
That's a little dicey.
Yeah, it's a little dicey because I got the Jason Statham, and only people like Jason Statham or Cesaro from WWE can rock that.
Yeah.
It just look like, oh man, you should really just get that laser surgery, get your hair done and shit. You're like, you know, be permanently bald. If there's a way you could do that where I was just permanently bald, I do that all the fuck. I would have been done it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I'd have been done it. Like, yeah, I don't really want to have to worry about this anymore.
Yeah. Just give me like the cranium treatment where it all falls out and it just stays gone. And I get nice, but it has to be like that stays gone where you have like the nice waxy head look.
Yeah, I want
not that dry scalp.
Yeah, I want the Samuel L.
Yeah,
I want the Nick Fury. Just go to the fucking barbershop like, give me the Nick Fury. I want my head shiny. Give me the sticky fingers. Anyways, so let's start with you. What's been going on with you the last 7 days?
All right, last 7 days, I've been sitting down and watching The Boys on Amazon.
All right.
So about this show, it's pretty fucking good. And,
I've heard nothing but good things about it.
And it's definitely a pretty fair adaptation. They do not shy away on the sex or the violence.
All right.
And to give you a good idea of how I at least rank the earlier shows, I still got two more episodes to go.
Okay.
If they were in charge, whoever did this particular show,
mm-hmm.
if they were in charge of Saga,
okay,
they would make Sectillion work.
Really?
Yes.
All right.
Because there's a scene in the first episode where they do go to like the superhero den of sin, and they pretty much represent it pretty faithfully to what's in the comic.
Okay.
And I mean, one example, because I'm not going to spoil it, you got Mr. Fantastic analog getting a beige, then stretching to a table with two dudes and making out with the two dudes.
Oh, wow.
And they show it.
Really?
And so I was like, all right then, let's keep it going. The violence, fantastic. The characters, fantastic. I mean, it's, for anybody who doesn't know, this is a comic book based show.
Written by Garth Ennis.
Yeah, written by Garth Ennis, one of my favorites.
Yeah, who did a tremendous run on Hellblazer and Punisher.
Punisher is fantastic.
And he did Preacher.
And Preacher, yes. Now, he is your anti-superhero writer. He hates superheroes. He often writes them as very, very bumblefuckery, and they're incompetent or they're just vile. In this story, they are vile. They are essentially, if superheroes were among us, how would they act? And you realize that they would act as any other person would act if they had godlike powers. Your Superman analog is a complete asshole and a rapist, kind of like your Watchmen's and stuff like that.
Right.
So it's really good, and they tell a parallel story of a person dealing with being a part of collateral damage from a superhero incident, and they tell another story about a up and coming superhero kind of getting into the fold and seeing how the operation really works. Simon Pegg is in it. Well, if anybody doesn't know, the main character of The Boys, the print run was based on Simon Pegg, his look and mannerisms. So,
well, if you don't know who Simon Pegg is, he played Sean the Dad. He's also Scotty, Star Trek.
Yes.
But I like to think if you listen to this show,
you would know who
I
Simon
didn't
Pegg
have to tell you that, but in case you didn't.
Yeah, just in case you're a wee baby Thundercat out there.
He's also in Mission Impossible.
Yes, you also know him from that. But he plays the main character's father, so you do get that, like, hey, it's Simon Pegg, and he looks like the guy. And if this was done earlier, he would definitely be casted, but he's just old as fuck now. Well, not old as fuck, but he's older.
Let's be honest, Shaun the Dead was a long time ago.
Yeah, it was.
It was.
But, yes, I definitely suggest you watch it. I know you're not the biggest Garth Ennis fan when it comes to certain things, but...
No, that's not true. Because I did read his run on Punisher.
Mm-hmm.
He also did this story called The Pro.
Really?
Which is, what would happen if a prostitute got superpowers? And then she joins this team of like the Super Friends.
Okay.
And fucks everything up. So I do like Garth Ennis.
Yeah.
This is an Amazon Prime show. We should say that. And that's probably why I haven't watched it yet, because I don't have Prime. But I have. Well, I can't say I don't have Prime like that.
Yeah.
I only have Prime for like a week now. For another week that I did.
Well, you'll be able to watch it with the video. So it's on Prime Video. So
I know that. Yeah. So, but I only have like a week.
And it's only 8 episodes. So it's definitely a good watch. It's like, pretty much if heroes were tied to major corporations, how would they act? They'd be fucking divas and all sorts of up their own ass, and it's a great show.
Well, you did read the entire run of The Boys.
Yes, I did. Yeah, like I said, they're pretty accurate with what they're doing. They take a few liberties, but that's understandable. The Boys is I don't want to say it's a rough read, but I can see it being rough to do an adaptation of, especially if you know like about Mother's Milk and stuff like that.
I read the first volume of The Boys, so it's not enough. When I go into the show, it's like, well, this is different. This is different.
Yeah.
This is different. No. I go into that cold, just like Umbrella Academy.
Okay, so yeah, it's
because I read the first 2 volumes, but it's so long ago. I don't remember.
And it's a good thing that you would come into this cold, because it's like me having read it, and it's like I remembered a lot of stuff, and I was glad at the notes they took, and they take all the important things, and I don't really like weigh a show or an adaptation based on what they get right. I base it on the overall flow of the show. Mm-hmm. And if they just so have, like, let's say, The Witcher, right? Mm-hmm. If they get the general concept of what the characters are and what they do, then that's fine. Because that's one of those types of shows that can play it fast and loose and episodic. The Boys, though it has a pretty much thread line beginning, middle, and end, there are certain liberties you can take. You can give a person one job over another job, but at the end of the day, they still have to have these character traits indicative to the book.
Okay.
Like I said, other than that, glowing review from me. Give it a watch.
Okay.
Other than that, nothing much. I've been just like really cranking that out, and work schedule has changed again, so I've been kind of out of sorts. But I pretty much, go home, hit the gym, whatever time I got left, I was watching The Boys, then I go to bed and do the whole cycle again.
Like a hustler.
Yeah, man. You know, these guns don't. This man mountain won't build itself.
You have a gun show like Earthquake from WWE.
Shut up! No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't. Shut up.
Like Vader back in the day.
Oh God.
Who the man? Tell me who the man is.
You might as well say Viscera and then freaking garbage bag outfit.
Oh, Big Daddy V. Oh, that's he's even worse. No, Big Daddy V with the fucking onesie on.
Oh man, that was terrible.
Fucking chest, all that chest meat out. Like, think if you don't put a fucking shirt on, you're embarrassing.
Yeah, put a bib on just to catch all that.
You were better off in that hefty bag, nigga. The fuck are you doing? What?
Other than that, I can pass the ball to you because I know that you probably did way more.
Actually, not really. This has been a kind of a slow week. I'm in a fucking mood. I gotta get past some shit internally.
Oh, okay.
You know, so I can, date again. Because I'm in a bad spot right now. I feel like I'm not worthy of that. Well, not to get overly personal because I don't want to do that in the show, but at the same time, to give people an insight on me. Like, you don't understand, man. It's like, me doing this show is the easiest thing in the fucking world to me. Me sitting here talking like this is the easiest thing in the world. But now if you put me in a fucking situation outside of this fucking mic, I am fucking awkward.
You're a shy turtle.
I'm a shy fucking turtle. And I'll say the last 10 years I've not helped matters.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because a lot of stuff has happened in the last 10 years.
Indeed.
And I have kind of crawled back into my shell, and now I'm trying to get back out of the shell and saying, I'm worthy of love again. I'm good enough for someone out here. Shut the fuck up. Nobody knows what the fuck you're talking about. Nobody knows what you're talking about.
You're never gonna dance again.
Word. Word. That's what you give me right now. You're going to get
now that you're gone. Oh.
This happens all the time when I try to bare my soul to this man.
Well, you know what?
It turns it into a funny bit.
No.
And,
but I go from funny bit to serious life advice. We're going to call this segment Audible Therapy. Now, you know what? When you have a shy turtle, what you do is grab a hockey stick, smack it across that ice into a group of other turtles. And then if you don't crack that shell as violently as you can, you won't get to the sweet turtle meat inside. Like
Cannibal Holocaust,
yes.
motherfucker.
Thank you. Thank you.
What an asshole.
No, but I understand social awkwardness because it's
I'm a terrible introvert.
Long story short, I gone through many reinvention processes. When I was in the city, I found a stable crew to be cool with, the Wickham Map Boys from the BX, and they were my circle. They were, what brought me life and helped me to be the guy I am. I mean, we had many stories of late night ramblings on the subway train coming back from like Times Square and shit like that, parties and whatnot. But when I came up here, it was a complete fish out of water deal. Now, one thing that happened when I got up here was everybody's like, "You from New York? Oh, you must have seen dead bodies and hurt people, and you must be the biggest gangster in the world and sold drugs and this, that, and the third." And I'm like, nah. I lived in a nice neighborhood. I have good parents. I, have good friends. And, yeah, I've seen dead bodies and gotten to my own, rough patches. But it was never, every day is juice. Or every day is boys in the hood, and
right.
people got weird notions. So when I came up here, I was like, you know what? Okay, story time again. I had 4 roommates. All of them were white, and all of them were varying degrees of whiteness. We had literally a wigger. I mean, he backwards cap. He looked like that scumbag Steve meme. You ever see the dude with the hat standing at the door? He was that guy. And he was always like, yo, man, we got to hit the club and do this, that, and third. And I'm like, that really ain't me. Had another dude. He was the hippie, but he was also ROTC. And so with him being that way, he was like the biggest like druggie I ever met. I mean, he had stuff that wasn't even illegal yet because it was so new. And stuff that would turn your mind into Swiss cheese. I seen him take some like liquid that turned into a crystal. He took it and sat down and watched a tennis match on a tennis racket for like 2 hours. That was another dude. Third dude, hardcore Italian from Rome. And I mean, tomato pie. Bibbidi bobbidi, bobbidi booby. Excuse. I love this dude because him and his crew came to, we ended up being very tight. And he came to my aid when I got, into college trouble. They, albeit, defended me in probably the most weed-tastic way ever. And it was kind of embarrassing because they kept saying, oh, this guy's a good kid. He's a great guy. He's a good friend to everybody. You cut him some slack. And I'm just like, can you please just turn down the Goodfellas a little bit? Because this is a trial for me to stay up here and go to school. But it was just one of those things where it's like I was out with a completely different crew, and I had to find a way to make it work with all of them because we were also all roommates, and it ended up being a pretty good experience. One of my friends that we hang out with, I used to say John. He's been my friend from college for years, and his circle of friends.
Friend of the show.
Yeah, friend of the show. You can say John is an average ass fucking name. Doe. His last name is Doe. See how I did that? Yeah, good friend of the show though. And it's like he is one of those guys where it's like in my process of reinventing myself, I found a person that was perfectly like the crew I left. And so clicked with him, found other people like him, bada bing, bada boom. It's just finding something that you can click with and sifting through a lot of horse shit.
Yeah, now, that's my problem. At this stage of my life, I don't really want to.
Because you're old.
I'm old, yes.
I'm sorry. I have
to. Speaking of John, man, if you're out there listening, man, come on through the Barbecue Studios one day.
Can't. We do this too late.
Really?
Yeah, he's an early. He's an
early riser.
Yeah, early riser. I mean, I am too, but I sacrifice precious sleep.
So do I. Shit.
You don't rise early. I'm like up mad early.
So am I.
What time you up?
6 o'clock.
Amateur.
Oh, you're a fucking asshole, dog.
I'm at work by then.
But speaking of New York, there's this great meme. I don't know if you've ever seen it. Where it's 2 maps of New York. They're color charts. Like when elections happen and all that shit. And there's one that's like what New Yorkers think of New York, and there's all these different areas in New York.
Yeah.
And there's the other one's like what everybody else thinks of New York.
It's just Manhattan.
It's just New York City.
Yes.
And I've had that happen when I was living in Minnesota. I was like, I'm from New York, and everybody's like, oh shit, he's from New York City, because that's all they know. They don't know anything else past fucking.
No, they don't know. See, the saddest part is they don't know anything past Manhattan Island. That's all they know, because they heard of Brooklyn and the Bronx and Queens via music.
Right.
But they don't associate with that as being intrinsically New York.
Right.
They say, oh, so you know about Times Square and Statue of Liberty and
Yankee Stadium and all this shit. Yeah.
And that's Manhattan.
Yeah.
That's all Manhattan. So it's like you bring up everything in Manhattan and you're like, oh, so I'm from the Bronx. Huh. What's in there? Yeah, you know Yankee Stadium. Yeah, that's like the very, very, very tip of the Bronx. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, even I don't know that much about New York City, and I've only been there twice.
Central Park.
Maybe people know about New York City from what they see on TV.
Exactly.
They don't know that there's other parts of New York.
Yeah.
Of New York State. Like I'm from Upper New York. which is more like Minnesota than it's parts of Minnesota than it is, you know, New York City and all that shit, you know. Yeah, but it is what it is. You know.
What you gonna do?
What are you gonna do? But yeah, at this point, trying to get back to being comfortable with myself. Getting back to loving myself.
You thought you did that twice a day. Oh, but
you're such an asshole.
Called masturbation.
That's called jerking off. So all right. So you gave the baton to me. So let me talk about my week.
Yes.
Let's start with something that we should have talked about before, but we didn't. It's going to tie into something else.
Okay.
Did you see the trailer for Dolomite Is My Name?
No.
So there's this movie coming out on Netflix called Dolomite Is My Name. If you don't know who Dolomite is, back in the late 60s, early 70s, there's this guy named Rudy Ray Moore who was a comedian. Pretty successful comedian. And he created this character called Dolomite.
Mm-hmm.
And it was widely successful. And off of that, he did quite a few movies with Dolomite. I've seen a few, not all of them. Like, I saw the first Dolomite and Human Tornado, which is, you watch those movies, and you know you're in the goddamn 70s, and they're cheap as fuck. You can see, like, the boom mics and everything in certain shots. It's fucking hysterical, right? But there's a bit of charm to those movies because of Rudy Ray Moore.
Yeah.
And he was the godfather of rap. Because he spoke in rhymes way before hip-hop was ever created. You know, hip-hop wouldn't be a thing until, a couple years later. But he was people kind of say he's the godfather of rap.
Okay.
Right? So we get this movie that's coming from Netflix sometime in the fall.
Yes.
And Eddie Murphy is Dolomite in this. Okay? Mm-hmm. And it throws me off.
Okay, because now, see, I'm just going to put that in the list of Sextuplets, of which will be on Netflix soon, and I'm going to watch that for the audience, so they can get an honest review of Sextuplets.
Okay. But that's not why I have a problem with this movie.
Okay.
Not because of that. Because it's your favorite part of the show.
Yes.
It's running gag time.
Okay.
But Maniacs was talking about Won't You Be My Neighbor? The Mr. Rogers movie is coming out with Tom Hanks.
Yes.
Now, she is looking forward to this movie.
Okay.
Whereas I am not.
Okay.
Because I can't wrap my head around Tom Hanks playing Fred Rogers. It's still Tom fucking Hanks trying to play Fred Rogers. And the same thing with Dolomite Is My Name. It's Eddie Murphy trying to play Rudy Ray Moore. There are certain people that are so large in life
that they absorb the role that they're taking because they are so big.
It's just them playing something, trying to play somebody else.
Yeah.
Right? It's no different than, here's a great example. Remember when Chris Hemsworth was rumored to play Hulk Hogan in a biopic?
Yes.
And I was just like, I don't see that.
Yeah, you can't.
I can't see it because it's Hulk Hogan.
Yes.
The only person that can play Hulk Hogan is Hulk Hogan.
I wouldn't say that, but I wouldn't get some. See, the thing is,
okay, but who would you get to play Hulk Hogan?
You'd have to get someone he'd approve of, so it'd be a no name or a wrestler or something like that.
That's my point. But you'd have to fucking
you can't pick a star to play a star because all you see is the star. It's just like you can't. It's like okay. Put
it this way.
Yeah.
It's like when people try to play Bruce Lee.
Yeah.
It's like he's Bruce Lee.
Yeah,
he's a one-of-a-kind attraction.
Yeah.
He's a one-of-a-kind talent. And to try to play Bruce Lee, and let's be honest, when he died, after Enter the Dragon, a lot of people tried to play Bruce Lee.
Yeah.
Including Jackie Chan, who also tried to play Bruce Lee. What the fuck is going on with this?
Nothing. Okay. We're still recording.
All right, we're still recording. The screen flashed right, man. I panicked. Like, oh no!
Well, they have a paranormal incident.
This show, a poltergeist incident. Like, oh no, this show is lost in the sauce forever. but that's my point, really. Yeah. There are certain people that are so large in life, it'd be hard for somebody to play that person.
I think it's not so much that they're so larger than life that it's hard to find a person to play them. I think you just... like having someone that's a big name play someone else that's another big name is kind of like distracting in the sense that it's like, okay, you get like you said, Eddie Murphy to play Dolomite. You only see Eddie Murphy. You only see him. You see the Nutty Professor. You see everything he's done, and you can't really see the Dolomite because it was played by this type of person.
Yeah.
Just like Hulk Hogan. You see Captain America. You see everything else.
Yeah, you see Thor.
I mean Thor.
Yeah.
But it's like you see everything else but Hulk Hogan.
Right.
And so like, and especially since he's been in such a big movie.
Right.
So he's kind of like, that's like saying, we want what's his name? Robert.
Oh, that really pissed me off. I didn't even do anything that time. It wasn't even my fault, and I got to sit here and try to splice this shit.
We have.
So this shit doesn't come out till Friday. You know why? Because I have to sit here now and like do all this bullshit over again. It's not gonna be fun. But anyways, getting back to what we were saying is that we're talking about Dolomite and all that. And I'm looking forward to it. I'll watch it because at least it's good that Eddie Murphy is getting back to more adult shit.
Yeah.
Because for so long he was doing a lot of fucking kid stuff, family stuff. That was fine. I like Donkey as much as anybody else, right? But there was always that part of me that was like, well, what about the people who grew up with Delirious and Raw and 48 Hours and Beverly Hills Cop and all that? You know, and it gave us nothing. You know, I'm glad he's doing more adult stuff. And I heard rumors that he might be going back to stand up.
That'd be good.
That'd be great.
That'd be good.
By I'm sure you know who Godfrey is.
Yes.
Godfrey had a great point. It's like he should do a special right away.
No.
Give himself, because he hasn't done stand up in like since Raw or Delirious and all that. So that he should give himself a year or two. Just go on the road, go to comedy clubs, work on his shit, and then you do a goddamn stand up shit. Do a stand up special. That'd be cool. And once that happens, I'll sit down and watch it, especially if it's on Netflix or something like that.
Yeah.
So Dolomite's my name. I don't know when it's coming out, but it's supposed to be coming out in the fall. Speaking of Netflix, saw the final trailer for the new Dark Crystal show.
Oh, okay.
Again, it looks. I'll watch it. I'll at least try it, even though I'm not the biggest Dark Crystal fan.
Mm-hmm.
But, because again, that movie didn't age well as far as I'm concerned. It's kind of dull. But I will give him credit, man. Like it looks like it's a good mixture of old school puppetry and new school CGI, and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, if I had started this when I was a kid, after Dark Crystal, and time travel is possible, and you get to transplant me back to 1983 and say like, hey, listen, this is what's coming.
Yes.
I'd be like, wow, that's so cool. Your mind be blown. But my mind be blown by everything that came out right now. But,
here, look at the smartphone. Wow, screen.
Like, you think, you like Transformers like that cartoon? Well,
look
how about this? Oh, you like Super Friends? Well, they did that already.
Yes.
Oh, you like Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends? Well, how about this?
There are more than one Spider-Man?
Exactly.
And there's a girl and a robot and a Negro. They let them on TV? Wowzers!
Oh, man. The other thing is, it was SummerSlam weekend.
Yes.
So let's talk about that for a minute. Let's talk about some wrestling for a second.
Wrestle fast.
Saturday was the NXT show, only bringing up 4 of the main events. Okay. Main event was Adam Cole and Johnny Gargano. 2 names I know that you don't are not familiar with.
Yeah.
But I think you would like Johnny Gargano. Not only because he's a good wrestler, but because he's such a huge Marvel fan that he does cosplay.
Nice.
When he comes out, his wrestling.
I think you've shown me a couple of his
his wrestling types is always Marvel related. He came out as Daredevil one time. He came out as Captain Marvel one time. It's kind of weird, you know.
Yeah, kind of weird.
It's kind of odd. Like, would I get a Captain Marvel shirt? Probably not.
Okay.
You know.
Singlet?
Yes, I'm going to come out in a singlet with my hairy taco meat.
Yep.
But burnt taco meat showing.
Yes.
Right? But because NXT and SummerSlam, the SummerSlam weekend was in Toronto, I just assumed, like, we're in Canada. So, of course, it's going to come out as Wolverine.
What do you come out as? Wolverine.
Old school Wolverine. In the blue and yellow.
Blue and yellow?
X-Men.
It'd be even
colors.
better if he went deep cut and did the brown and yellow.
Yeah. That would have been cool, but he came out as the X-Men Wolverine. I bring this match up because it's a 2 out of 3 falls match. They've been having this, him and Adam Cole's been having this feud for the last 3 months.
Yeah.
So there's the big blow off. So it's 2 out of 3 falls match. The first fall was a straight up wrestling match. The second fall was a street fight. And the fight went a distance, then it was up to the commissioner, his commissioner's choice. They did the same thing in 2001 with Triple H and Stone Cold. It's the exact same thing. So, of course, you know, Adam Cole wins the first fall. Jack Gargano wins the second fall. Here comes the third fall. And the third fall was a cage match.
Oh,
but not just any cage match, a weapons cage match. The cage comes down, there's all these weapons. There's fucking kendo sticks, chains, sledgehammers, fire extinguishers, all this shit. And at the top of this fucking cage, it was lined with barbed wire.
Okay.
So nobody can get in, they can't get out.
Yes.
And I'm sitting there looking at this, I'm like, but it's PG.
Yeah. So
you're really not going to use this barbed wire the way you did in the 90s and early 2000s.
And they surprised you by doing everything.
No. They surprised me by doing what I thought they were going to do.
Nothing.
Teasing, using the goddamn barbed wire. And there was like a table in the corner, and I'm like, okay, somebody's going to get thrown off of that through shit. And that's exactly what happened. So these two get up to the top of the cage. You got Johnny Gargano. He cuts a piece of this barbed wire off, so it looks like he's gonna fucking use it, right?
Yes.
And I'm just like, that's not gonna happen.
Of course,
right? And so it doesn't. And they're on top of this platform, and once they both fly off this goddamn platform through 2 tables that are in the ring, and that's how the match ends. NXT show was fine. It was fine, right?
Yes.
So then yesterday, I finally got a chance to watch SummerSlam with DK.
Oh yeah.
DK came over here.
Nice.
As a matter of fact, I was doing shit, and he called me, and I was like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I was about to watch SummerSlam." I was like, "I'll watch SummerSlam with you." So we watched the short version of SummerSlam. We didn't watch the whole thing. I will say this: SummerSlam was shorter than WrestleMania, which is great.
Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't an 8-hour show. I think it was like a little over 3 hours. Right? So like I said, we didn't watch the whole thing. We watched a couple of matches. And all the matches that we saw, let me say this. There's a show called Brian and Vinny. It's a wrestling show. And I'm going to steal a line from Vinny.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think SummerSlam had any didn't have any great matches, but it had a lot of good ones. And all the matches we saw were pretty good. The match with Trish and Charlotte, good match. Good match. I will say that it was more Charlotte carrying Trish because Trish doesn't really wrestle like that anymore. But it was a good match, nonetheless. The match with Kevin Owens and Shane McMahon, good match.
All right,
that's a good match. What else do we see? Seth Metal and Brock Lesnar, good match.
Wasn't a squash?
No.
Surprised.
And here's the thing, Seth won.
Really?
Clean.
Okay.
He didn't cheat. Nothing. He just won. So he is once again the new Universal Champion. Becky Lynch and Natalya. It was an alright match.
Mm-hmm.
I like the Trish Charlotte match better. But here's the thing. The one thing that everybody's talking about from this show, was the return in the ring of Bray Wyatt. He fought Finn Balor.
Regular Bray Wyatt?
No. Not regular Bray Wyatt.
Magical Bray Wyatt.
This the Fiend.
Okay.
Bray Wyatt.
Great.
Right? Here's the thing. Everything about him now is completely different. He still comes out with you know how Bray Wyatt comes out with a fucking lamp?
Yes.
Well, he still does that. Only this time, it's his head. It's his severed head. And the light comes out of his mouth.
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
It's almost enough that I want to show you his entrance. His entrance is awesome. And it's still like in the dark and, all the, the fireflies come out and all that shit. His theme song is different this time. And he wrestles with the mask on.
Really?
Entirely. He's still brave. He still does some of the same moves.
Yeah.
But it's different.
It's like, and I was thinking about that
today. Yeah, I was thinking about this today, right? Where who else had a reinvention where it worked? And like Sting, for example.
Yes.
Because if you know anything about Sting used to come out with a couple of face paint, a couple of tights, and a fucking spiky hair, and then he switched, and then he came out as a crow.
Yes.
So he was just brooding and walking around the rafters with a crow on his goddamn shoulder. But it worked. It worked for me. I was like, that's fucking money. It's the same thing here. Or something like Foley. When he came out, I was like Mankind, and he came out as Dude Love, and he was Cactus Jack. It's that, to me.
Yes.
Here's the other thing. WWE does their own loot crates.
Funny you bring that up.
Why? Loot crate files for bankruptcy? Oh, well, that's the thing that kind of ran its course.
It ran its course.
I got a few loot crates, but, nobody really talks about it like they did
before
5-6 years ago.
Yeah, so I mean, it ran its course, but they had a long run.
They had a long run. The only thing that let's
go back to WWE.
Let me go back to WWE for a second, so I don't get off track here. So they do their own loot crates.
Yes, they do.
One of them was the latest one was a Bray Wyatt loot crate.
Did it have a separate head?
No, it was like they had a T-shirt, a couple of other things, an autograph photo, and all that shit, right?
Yes.
They had 500 of these motherfuckers. They sold out in 3 hours because of Bray Wyatt. That's how popular this dude is right now. This is a fucking money thing. And when they eventually do the Fiend versus the Demon, that's fucking money. They tried to do that before, right? This is not a new feud. They tried to do this 2 years ago. It didn't really work.
Because that's when we had our magical match.
Yeah. Well, not only that, but there was the whole meningitis fucking.
Oh, yeah,
right.
You're right.
So, but this time around, the Fiend versus the Demon, there's money in that. Because Bray Wyatt came back, reinvented himself, and now he's a Fiend. He's a mass wrestler. And he's just psychotic and all this shit. It's fucking great. So, SummerSlam, if you have the network, it's worth a watch. I didn't watch the whole thing. Oh, do you know who Ricochet is?
Yes.
You know what this thing came out as? What? Nightwing.
Really?
I mean, cool. In like the entire Nightwing regalia.
Oh, that's dope.
With like the fucking arm shields and all this shit. I saw a picture. I didn't see the match, but I saw a picture. I was like, oh, that's a bit much. You spent way too much money in this goddamn outfit.
They have money to spend.
I guess. But getting back to that was my wrestling take. But as far as Loot Crate, yeah, I can see that. You don't even know the problem with Loot Crate was? Your whole investment in Loot Crate completely depends on the subject. The
if
theme
you don't like the subject or the theme, it's not worth getting.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you can only...
Yeah, and it's such a gamble.
Yes.
And then once Loot Crate came out, then everybody had a fucking Loot Crate. It's their own problem. Everybody had a Loot Crate.
You had the anime crate, your wrestle crate, your video game crate, your
fucking combo crate.
They have wine crate.
Food crates. I mean, Blue Apron is nothing more than a Loot Crate for food.
It is a Loot Crate for food.
You had to sit there and hope that when this box comes to you that month, it has something in there that you really want to eat.
Yeah.
Just like with Loot Crate. You had to hope that there was something in it that you really wanted.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, I got quite a few Loot Crates. But I was always splitting with you.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of stuff in there that I was like, I don't want this. I don't want this.
I still have that Breaking Bad.
Apron?
Yeah, I wear it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Dope-ass
I still
apron.
wear the fucking Optimus Prime / Tron shirt.
Yeah.
From one of the loot crates. But I have loot crates where there's shit in there that I've never opened. That I'm sure, like, you know, might be worth some money now.
No, I don't think any of that
Probably
is worth money. Yeah.
But some of the shirts were because they were rare. Like, you couldn't buy them in a store. You know? That was always a good thing about Loot Crate was that the apparel was stuff that you could not find in the store.
Yes.
You couldn't just go
to Hot
Topic.
They had decent crossover shirts.
Yeah, you couldn't go to Hot Topic and buy, like, for example, the Mirror fucking Star Trek shirt.
Yeah.
You couldn't go to Loot Crate and get the Archer for President shirt, which I still have. Yeah, I still have that shirt, by the way.
His mask is weird. Bray Wyatt.
You know, I do want to, you know, if I can, I do want to dress up like him for Halloween. With the fucking dreads and the fucking... Because all it really is, like, I just got to get a pair of fake dreads.
He looks like a Rob Zombie character.
Yeah, the mask, right?
Yes.
And like a black white beater.
Pretty much, and your coat.
And my coat.
And you can wear your coat again.
Yeah, I wear my trench coat again. And boom, I'm Bray Wyatt.
But you gotta work on those guns, homie.
Oh, fuck out of here.
You got tugboats when you need gunships.
Alright. Here we go. So that's that. As far as for the rest of the week, I did not see anything and watch any movies.
No SUV visits?
I have Loose. The movie with Octavia Spencer.
Oh, okay.
Her name is. But I haven't seen it. I didn't watch it yet. They didn't have the kitchen. We'll get back and we'll get to that in a good minute. But I didn't see anything. I read. I've been reading House of X, Powers of X, because it's two simultaneous storylines going on at the same time. Powers of X. I read it yesterday. Not really understanding it. Don't really understand it because I don't understand the history of X-Men. Because as much as I, you know, as much as I am a comic book fan, I'm not that much of a comic book fan. I'm not deep into it.
Yeah, you're not a lore nerd.
Yeah, I'm not that big of a nerd.
Like Cyclops lost his first eye and got a cybernetic eye from Cable.
I'll still give it a shot. I read that. I haven't read the second issue of House of X. I have it, but I haven't read it yet. But I am going through it. I also read this new comic called Coffin Bound.
Okay, I can't even really tell Western.
Kinda.
Alright.
It's through Image. It's very it's about this chick. She's like getting revenge for some fucking reason. She has a sidekick with a vulture with a fucking bird cage around his head and shit. It's very wordy. It's a very wordy comic. You know what it's like? It's like if Alejandro Jodorowsky wrote a fucking comic. He's just like, it's a little too literal for me, for my taste. It's not like I'll never say like you can't be that in a comic, in a graphic novel.
It's just that it has to be captivating.
Yeah,
and it can't drag on.
Like, and I just felt it drag.
It can't be you sitting in a car driving while the scene goes by.
It's just too fucking much.
That's how Monstrous was for me. It's like I was getting into it, but then it's just like I don't like lore dumps. And if you have a story that takes place in the middle of a conflict and you want to let people know the history of that conflict, put it at the end of your comic. Make a nice little blurb at the end, like, oh, this is, put a little asterisk in there. People can go, this is what this conflict was. I don't need to know the history of why the werewolf people hate the vampire lords and how Underworld happened and Underworld 2 is now a thing. Yeah. It's like no one needs all of that information heaped on them. Right. And it can really take away from a comic.
Yeah. Some little tidbits before this is probably going to be a short episode.
Yeah, it'll be a pretty short one. Well, you also got to remember, we got cut off. So.
Yeah, we got cut off as well. Harry Styles has passed on playing Prince Eric in The Little Mermaid. I guess the singer Harry Styles passed on that shit. Candyman begins filming in Chicago. The remake.
Candyman.
With Jordan Peele at the helm.
It's gonna be Candy Lady.
Oh no, it's
gonna be the Candy Lady.
Yeah. As I see it, sit over here and see this. Still a lot of controversy still over the whole fucking Bruce Lee portrayal in goddamn Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Really?
Yeah, I really do not care about that.
People don't like him being portrayed as a watcha. I am a Bruce Lee.
Yeah. Nobody gives a shit.
Yeah.
I don't anyway.
The film came and went.
Yeah. That's about it for me. Like I said, it was a very short week.
Yes.
Very short week. So you know what? As short as this episode has been, let's just close it out. Actually, I still got to go to your house.
Yes, you do.
Let's
put a bow on this.
Yeah, let's put a bow on this. With some box office numbers, these are the top 10 highest grossing movies of this past weekend, as told by JoeBlo.com. Number one, again, the same movie that was number one last week. Fast and Furious Hobbs and Shaw.
Yep.
Made $25.4 million. Cracked $100 million mark. Is at $108.5 million. Here domestically, it's made over $300 million worldwide. And it still is not open in China yet, so probably makes way more money when it hits China. Number two was Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. New Guillermo del Toro produced movie.
Okay.
$20.8 million. It opened. Number three was The Lion King. Made another $20 million. Is up to $473.1 million.
Yeah.
And that's just domestic. So I think it's made $1 billion so far. Matter of fact, it is the highest grossing animated movie of all time. It beat Frozen.
So they're just beating their own records.
And it's just fucking. It's beating
Fuck you, Frozen.
Fuck you, Frozen. Number four was Dora and the Lost City of Gold. Opened with $17 million. The Man in Black SUV had it. He was like, oh, I got Dora. I was like, what the fuck would I want to see that for? I don't have kids. What's wrong with you? I didn't grow up with Dora. Number five was Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. $11.6 million. It hit $100 million.
Yes.
Okay, great. Still think it's
fantastic.
Still think it's one of the. It's still in the bottom three. Number six was The Art of Racing in the Rain. $8.1 million.
Is that about drifting?
You know what it is? What? It's another one of those fucking dog movies. Like A Dog's Journey and A Dog's Purpose. Yeah. It's another one of those dog movies.
What's up with these reincarnating dog movies? This is like that era when we had like Beethoven and
Milo and Otis and fucking Homeward Bound.
Yeah, where you had just animals doing shit.
Yeah. Iron Will.
Was Homeward Bound the one where they had like the sack of cats that they were throwing in the river?
No, that was Milo and Otis.
That was Milo and Otis? Yeah. That was a thing.
Yeah. To the point where I'm just like, why don't you just do Benji again?
I mean, we got Air Bud. It's hard to compete with Air Bud. He plays soccer. He goes to space.
Yeah.
He has superhero children.
Okay, but just do Benji again. You mean to tell me you can't find a dog that looks like fucking Benji?
You can find a dozen dogs. Go to your local shelter.
Do Chomps again. That's a deep cut. That's a fucking deep cut.
God.
Only you and I know what Chomps is.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's one of those movies where, the dog has inner monologue and it comes into his family's life and changes their life for the better.
Yeah.
And I actually thought that Dennis Quaid was voicing this one again.
Yes.
Because I was like, oh, that's right. He was in those A Dog's Journey, A Dog's Purpose. The voice this time around is Kevin Costner. I was like, fuck the same thing. There's another old white guy trying to being the voice of a fucking dog. Get out of here. Number 7 was The Kitchen with $5.5 million. It debuted at $5.5 million. We're going to get back to this in a second.
Yes.
Number 8 was Spider-Man Far From Home, made $5.3 million. Domestically, it's made $370.9 million. Number 4 was Toy Story 4. Don't ask me if I haven't seen this movie yet. It's one of those movies that I'm just like,
You'll
I'll
get
see
to
it
it when you see it.
eventually. Yeah. Like when I saw Toy Story 3, it was because it was on TV, like regular TV. I was like, I'll sit there and watch this shit. But it made $4.4 million, $419.5 million just here in the States. And closing out the top 10 was The Farewell with $2.2 million, $10.3 million altogether. Coming up this weekend, two movies that I didn't even know they were making sequels to. One is the Angry Birds movie. They're doing part two. Yeah, they did part two of this shit, which drops today. We're recording on Tuesday. It dropped today, which is weird for a movie to drop on a Tuesday.
Yeah, but
it's like DVDs and I shouldn't say DVDs, Blu-rays and video games, music.
That's Tuesday.
Yeah, usually that's a Tuesday thing. But this movie is dropping today. I was like, who the fuck asked for Angry Birds 2?
Nope. No, Angry Birds hasn't been a thing.
That's what I mean.
For years.
Who still plays Angry Birds?
People who can't afford Candy Crush.
But what? That doesn't make sense either.
I know, because they're both free.
That's what I mean. If you have a phone, like you can play Candy Crush. The other sequel is 47 Meters Down, Uncaged. That shark movie that came out a few years ago. I was like, I didn't even see the first one.
I didn't know it was a sequel.
Yeah. Other stuff that's coming out. Some Kate Blanchett movie called Where'd You Go, Bernadette? Good Boys.
Ah, yes.
I do want to see that. And something called Blinded by the Light. Now, let's go back to the fucking kitchen for a second. Because there's two things. One, I'm actually more intrigued to see it now because that's the other thing I read this weekend while I was watching the NXT show was the kitchen again.
Mm-hmm.
And I can already tell you that this movie is going to be slightly different, or maybe even more slightly different than the comic.
Okay.
One, because there ain't no black chick in it. There's three Irish chicks.
Yes,
right?
there are 3 Irish chicks.
And there's no older Irish lady that's like a crime boss in that story either. So I am intrigued to see this. The other reason is because here's a fact. I just said this movie opened at $5.5 million.
Yes.
And Melissa McCarthy's in this movie. She's one of the stars in this. This movie is her lowest grossing opening ever. Ever.
Really?
Because go back to this time last year.
Yes.
Appetite Murders opened at $9.5 million.
Yes.
Even Ghostbusters was more successful in this movie. It got a 20% rating on Rotten Tomatoes.
The Kitchen?
The Kitchen. Not that I care, but still, 20%. See, it breaks my heart to say this, but we might have to put Melissa McCarthy in the cinema sneezer.
Oh, jeez.
Because you really have to sit here now and think to yourself, what was the last hit she's been in? Maybe The Boss?
I'm not even really a fan of hers to begin with.
See, the problem with her is that she's funny.
She does fat bumblefuck shit in every movie.
And there's only so many times you can do that.
Yeah.
She's like Chris Farley in that way. Whereas you could do that every once in a while.
Everything is not Tommy Boy.
Yeah, and maybe that's not a fair comparison because we'll never really know what his legacy would have been. He only did a handful of movies.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he was going to be Shrek. And if it worked out the same way that worked out for Mike Myers, you can at least always say, well, Chris Farley was Shrek. Right?
Yeah.
Never mind what he was doing. With Melissa McCarthy, she can be funny, but she just picks projects that is dumb.
Yeah,
Tammy wasn't funny. Ghostbusters sucked. I didn't see Can You Ever Forgive Me. I heard she was good in that, but that movie, nobody cared about that fucking movie. I didn't see The Boss. It looked dumb. But I was very interested in seeing her in the kitchen because she's playing against type. It's not her bumbling, like you said, fumbling and bumbling all the goddamn place.
Yeah.
And the problem with that is that, okay, there's 2 other actresses in this movie that had to show this plan. That being Elizabeth Moss and Tiffany Haddish. The problem with that is that Elizabeth Moss is on a hit show right now. she's in The Handmaid's Tale.
Yeah.
Tiffany Haddish is still a hot commodity. She was in a Lego movie.
So why didn't it sell?
So why didn't it sell? Why did it not sell? I am very intrigued to see this movie now.
Well,
but as far as Melissa McCarthy, and if not Cinema Sneezer, house arrest for sure.
Yeah.
You got to put that ankle bracelet on her.
Stay inside.
Stay inside the house.
That's the problem. She pigeonholed herself so hard that it's like you could have range, but no one's gonna see it.
Yeah.
And if this movie was to be your vehicle to show off that you have range, and you botched it, then you're gonna be fucking wearing dumpster fucking fire movie roles for the rest of your career because this was your shot, and it looked like a good movie. Even I said,
yeah, exactly. Even you was like, man, this movie looks all right.
Yeah,
and I was definitely looking forward to it because I read The Kitchen before, and I was like, wow, they're making a movie out of this. That seems interesting. And even going back and reading the book again.
It also could be people are kind of proudly just not on board with any more of these wives taking over the husband business.
Yeah, we had it last year with Widows.
Yeah. So people could be thinking.
And what was the other one? Ocean's 8?
8. Yeah. So now we have, like, okay, the third movie in the line of our husbands are in jail. Let's do shit and keep up the legacy.
Or maybe people are just tired of Melissa McCarthy.
That could be it, too. Or they see it and they're like, this isn't a comedy.
We've had enough.
Yeah.
It is broad.
Well, that's the kitchen.
But obviously I have a review of that. Hopefully the man in black SUV. Can't see why he would not have this movie on Friday.
Because he can't push flops.
Doesn't matter.
I know. One X.
He had Batman Hush.
One X doesn't care what they can push.
Yeah,
except for One X.
Except for One X bet. Or whatever the new betting spot is now. I forget what it's called. Bet Bodega or some bullshit like that.
Bet Bodega.
Fuck it is.
The tamale hut featuring bets.
I don't know. So anything you're looking forward to in the next 7 days?
I don't even know what's happening. I know I'm just working.
Like I said, man, it's the almost the end of the summer.
Yeah,
it's a little bit. I feel a little melancholy because it's almost the end, and then we get into the fall, and
everybody bundles up.
Yeah.
All those clothes,
everybody put the skin back in. They're like, oh, it sucks.
I'm not. Every day is sun's out.
Okay.
Day. Yeah, nipples.
They come say that in November. Come say that in November when it's like 40 fucking degrees.
As long as everything else is warm, I can leave a nipple exposed. It's
okay. Fucking gross.
Get your ice pop.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot going on. Yeah. Like I said, it's the end of summer. One thing for sure, and I will say early congratulations to my sister. She's getting married on Thursday.
Huzzah!
Yeah,
Mazel tov!
I will be at the wedding.
Jovially.
That's the only thing I'm looking forward to, even though it's making me a bit melancholy because, like, everybody, because everybody who's close to me is married now.
Yes.
Except for poor little me.
You were married first.
But I always say that, but I was married first.
Yeah, you were married.
Did that shit. So without anything else to do, thank you for joining us tonight, or whenever you're listening to this shit. I've been Alan One. He's been Brother C. We've been the Geeks From Apt podcast. We will see you next week. And as always, keep the door open for you.
And doses.
Laters.
I'm never gonna dance again.
Shut the hell up. I can't believe I gotta sit here and spice this shit out.